Everybody, it's Tyler here at Space City Signature, checking in with 3350C Ctrl Alt Defeat. And wow, I was really drawn to this team because they're one of the most unique robots I've seen here in high stakes so far. Take a look, they're utilizing a claw mechanism with an articulating wrist that goes over to get their scoring in. So really cool in regards to scoring on the mobile goals. They got a neat, interesting hook that comes underneath as well too. But I also really like for their wall stakes, doing a great job very quick on the field with that too. We'll be talking about some of their past iterations, a lot of what's gone into this robot. So let's learn more about them coming up here on Pits and Parts. So Adam, let's talk about the star of this robot here. I really love the claw. It's what really drew me to your robot. I'd love to hear more about how'd you come up with it. Let's showcase how that wrist works as well too. And then your team actually had to implement kind of a kill switch on your controller because you had some macro issues. Tell me more about all this.
So for the claw, I just wanted a simple design that could do every part of the game. I'm talking align sticks, wall sticks, ground sticks, it does it all. I'm gonna go ahead and show you an example of how this works here. So basically, I have a macro that sets it to a default position. So we're gonna lift this up. We have a hook system right here for clamp. Press the macro. All right, this right through here. That's basically the whole idea right there. Now, it's not the fastest design, but for the most part, it's consistent and it works. It's simple and it saves a lot of weight. For the kill switch, so basically you saw how this goes up and down. It kind of got a little bit stuck right there, but it went up and down. So basically, if this arm, because I have two rotational sensors right through here, one right here and one right here. But if this arm goes down too low, I have a forever loop that checks for a certain amount of degrees. And basically it goes down too low, it'll reset to 360 again. And the whole forever loop just stops working and it'll go down into its drivetrain. So to counteract that, I went ahead and programmed a macro into this right button here. And basically it does a counting system. It's either 1 or 0. So think of it like true or false. And it'll just play 1. And if the forever loops will check if there's a 1 or 0, and if there's a 1, it immediately cuts off and works flawlessly.
So I want to ask you, I was watching it earlier, and you're able to score on wall stakes, really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Especially compared to the rest of the field. And that. So when you were analyzing the game, there's some sacrifices you make to having a claw and stuff like that. What overruled it for you to want to continue with the claw design?
Well, mainly it's because it's a unique design. You'll see a lot of these designs. They use the usual flex wheel, the fish hooks, the Lady Browns, and that's all cool. But for this design, it mainly specializes in wall sticks. I don't have to go through a bunch of different mechanics or systems and whatnot to score wall sticks. I can just simply go right up to it, grab it, go up using my macro, and then boom, pop it right there. It's just nice, simple. I want the most simple design I could go for that scores efficiently and does its job. Every part of the game.
Makes sense there. Theo, talking about you made a couple drive chain changes you've gone through, and we mentioned about that hook a little bit earlier too. I'd love to dive a bit more into that.
Originally, we started with a torque drivetrain because we wanted to be more forceful, like we could push the other robots around, but we were really slow. So eventually we changed it to where the 4 motors underneath, it's a 4-motor drivetrain, we switched them to standard motors. So it increased the speed by about like 50%, and we got a lot faster. And the hook behind here, if you come around back, you can see it's just attached to a half motor. It just goes through this torque ratio, and it pulls the clamp, and it holds it. We don't need much power from this motor to hold the clamp in place, so that leaves us with the other half for our claw, and that brings us up to our motor count.
So with that hook on there, were there any other considerations or designs that you thought about before you went with that hook?
Originally, I think we were going for a pneumatic hook, but pneumatics, all the hoses and wires are difficult to manage and fit in the robot. So we wanted something that saved a lot of space and worked consistently. In pneumatics, you have to make sure they're full each time, right? So this, we just make sure the motor's all connected and good, and then it works. It's just fine.
In London, you've had a lot of past iterations with this robot too, so I'd love to hear more about what did you have before, what changes were made for that, and then walk me through some of your game strategy as well too.
Okay, so our first original design was nothing like this actually. It was just a big metal claw like this, but had more bulkiness to it that was out more here, more here. We had some green screw things like this, and it was really big and bulky. It was hard to move around a lot more, and it just kind of took up space and wasted a lot of time. And so then we had a couple of abbreviations where it was kind of the same. We just added these little things. Originally we had little moss things come all the way over, but then we figured out during the middle of a match actually that these things come done really easily. And so we had to remanage that and fix it real quick. And then we thought that this would be a better design in general because of how it's quiet, it's short, it's not too big, so it's not taking up too much space, so you can get that small little corners in the area. and it's just easier to pass on to get on a perfect clean pass on for the ring. I'm sorry. And our original game plan was basically to just collect rings and let our other team do defense. And then whenever we hit the 15-minute mark, we would hang to get more points. It works sometimes it doesn't. And so we kind of managed it and fixed it up a little bit to make what we do defense and offense. So basically, now it depends on our teammate, of course, but we can do defense and offense. This can help us with defense. This bulkiness helps us with offense. This helps us with hanging, which gives us more points. And yeah, it just basically made for defense and offense, honestly.
I was watching your last match, and you were actually just boxing out like 2 other robots from getting their goal into the positive corner. I thought that was, some great defense that you all played on that. And then, earlier we saw you scoring really quickly on those wall sticks too. I think it's a great strat overall. Mobile goals were really, really important early on, but I think the more we go into this, I think your positioning and those wall and line sticks are becoming more and more important. So thank you so much, by the way, for taking time. Tell us about your team. Once again, this is Ctrl Alt Defeat here at Space City. Good luck, of course, here, and we can't wait to see what your robots continue to evolve into throughout the season. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.